Okay, hello. Try to. I had my fan running in the background, and I know my mic is shit. So, now you get me in all of my glory. Alright, what I'm going to be doing is yapping at you for like 20 or 30 minutes. I'm going to be showing you this. This is Voicemeeter Potato. This is how I control my music. The coolest thing about this is, watch this. I have a knob on my computer. I'm not clicking things. I'm not adjusting anything on my headset. I can go volume down, volume up on the knob. If I press a button on the keyboard, I can go volume up and volume down for these apps. And if I press another button, volume up, volume down for these apps. And same thing over here. I can do my mic volume up or down. Now, I can also mute on different tracks with the same buttons. My mic. Very cool things. All of the best things, in fact. I can even change my output by going like this. And that actually changes it between devices. So I can go from my headset to my speaker at the click of a button. It's actually really cool. And then, also using Voicemeeter Potato, if you use OBS for recording, which I know some of you do, you can get this, where I have my music, one mic, my other mic, my games, Discord and Chrome, etc. So these are actually my three output tracks: music, games, Discord, Chrome. So if I press play on music, you can't hear this. It's playing in my headset. I can listen to music and record and play video games all without you hearing things. There are different ways to do this, but you know, it works. It's great, and I have all the things. So we're gonna put that back over there on my other screen. Now, caveats to this. There's quite a few actually. They're not major. I think this is worth it. I think this will take you maybe 20 or 30 minutes to set up because, you know, I've gone through the pain of like setting up myself. This solution doesn't exist online. It's weird. I don't know why. There are easier solutions out there if they work, but they didn't for me. One of them is Patrick Zero's like sound mixer. That thing looks great. It didn't work. Like I paid $10 for it, and it like basically just sat there, and I was like, great. So yeah, here is my, you know, BS solution that really does work. Voicemeeter Potato does run into issues like every once in a while. The cool thing about this program is that it's so common, like online, that there are solutions for every problem that I've seen on this thing, which is fantastic. Oh, another cool feature, I can switch between outputs. So A1 and A2 are my tracks. So this A1 goes to my headset, and A2 goes to my speaker. And then you could even have it go to A3 if you really wanted to, but I just have a keyboard shortcut for switching between tracks. Another caveat, I use a keyboard reprogrammer called Via. So I go into here, I authorize connect, and I now have this. So there's my knob, here are my buttons to switch between the layers, and then here are my layers. I really went through this and like customized everything. I did like a ton of work into this. I will touch on this in this video because like reprogramming keys is necessary. Via is really easy to use. Basically, you either there's a possibility of it auto detecting your keyboard, which would be great. But if you have like a specific keyboard, like mine has these extra buttons here and this knob here, you have to go onto your manufacturer's website and look for the JSON file and then upload it into Via using this somewhere. It's in here. It's not hard to do. You just, you go into here and you just add it. It's not hard. You just throw the file into the thing and then Via detects it and it works. You can look up online how to do that if you're like really confused, but it's a work of like 10-15 minutes. You're fine. This also comes with a whole lot of EQ stuff. I will not touch on this in this video. I have no idea how to use EQ, no idea what it does. No thank you. Will not touch it. Also, this requires a restart in order to install Voicemeeter Potato and the like the cables basically. So what I want you to do is go Voicemeeter, open it up, VB Audio Voicemeeter, and then what you'll see is there's actually banana, potato, and regular Voicemeeter. Voicemeeter only has one virtual output, so what you'll notice is I did potato, which is the biggest version of this program, because it has 3 virtual outputs, which allows me to change volume by app without tabbing out, but I can only assign it to 3 separate tracks. All right. If you got just Voicemeeter, you'd only have 1, which would defeat the purpose. Voicemeeter and Banana has 2 virtual tracks right here. Again, then you can separate your apps into 2 separate things. But Potato has 3, which I think is just like, why not? It really doesn't take that many system resources, as you can see. Like it's hiding, it's here, right? Like it takes 0.8, like a percent, and it takes 20 megabytes of RAM. Most computers can absolutely run this, like 100% in the background and run whatever games they want. So, pause the video here or open it up on your phone. Honestly, phone is better because there will be a point where this will mess with your audio systems, meaning it might mute you mid-video, which would suck. Don't, avoid that. So go ahead, download this, and then make sure that when you launch it, you do it in administrative mode. Read all of this, right? Like, it tells you how to do it. It works when you do it this way. Do it this way. The other thing that I'd recommend you getting is the VAC. Just get one of these. I don't use this, but I've heard that for like game chat and things, you can, in OBS, it's actually really useful because you can have a whole other like cable, like a whole other output that you can set to different things. It's useful and it requires a restart, so you might as well install it, is basically my 2 cents. So download this, download Potato, restart your computer, put me on your phone, and then I'll see you in like 3 seconds. I don't know. So hello, welcome back. So once you have Voicemeeter installed, before you launch, wait a second, unless you have me on your phone, because it's going to mute you as soon as you launch. You're going to need 2 things up. You're going to need Voicemeeter, and you're going to need Windows audio settings. So go down to, if you want to search up audio, it should just come up with sound mixer options. That's really what you want. This window right here. So what you're going to see is you're going to have volume, output device, input device, and then all your apps that are producing audio at the moment, right? So what I want you to do is change your output device, your default output device for your computer, to Voicemeeter input. And what you'll notice is that is this right here. That's this virtual input, quote unquote. And I want that to be your output. So Voicemeeter input, VB Audio Voicemeeter, this guy right here is going to be your output device. Your input device is going to be Voicemeeter out B1. So that is a track. That is going to be this track right here, B1. So this way, all of your apps, every audio system that you have is going to be going through Voicemeeter, through this track right here, and it's going to be outputted to A1 as default. But the second thing you're going to need to do before you launch, or when you launch, is go to A1. A1 is your track and your output. So A1 is a track here, and it is the output system. So these are going to be your devices, right? So A1 I have set to my headset, my Reg 800. This is my headset. My A2 is set to my speaker. And if you have more, if you have like a Bluetooth device, you can set that to A3 and A4 and A5. You can have up to 5 output devices. That's great. Ta-da. So go A1. I would do WDM or MME. WDM is the default. I just did that. I don't know what the difference is. I don't care. This works. You're going to double click on this. I already have it selected, so I'm not going to do that, but say yes. Once it's selected, you have output A1. Make sure that this is highlighted, and then output device Voicemeeter input. and you should start hearing me again. You'll also notice that this is actually the output. This is what I'm hearing, is right down here. So if this is like muted, unmute it. It shouldn't be when you launch, but you know, there you go. So now that you do that, pause, do that. All right, and now a quick explanation into Voicemeeter, because you've surely picked this up, but we're going to go through it a little bit slower. These guys, these are your microphones. These are your inputs. I believe these are actually used for, like, I don't know, instruments or something like that. Like, I don't know. I don't mess with this, so I haven't touched literally 3 of these. I have 2 speakers, one on my desk and one on my headset. So this one is the one on my desk, the one that I'm actually using, and this one is the one on my headset. And I basically never use it, but it's here and it's set up for whenever I need it. So go ahead, and in order to connect these devices, you're gonna left click up here, and same thing. You just, you know, click the mic that you want to be set to the thing. Your tracks are going to be where outputs do. So if I did this, suddenly there's I can hear myself talking. I don't like that. It's ugly. Ew. No. You get to hear me talk. I don't need to. So B1 is my output. B1 is where the audio goes into my mic and then out somewhere else. And that ends up being, and then wherever I want audio to come out of, it's going to be my A tracks. So A1 is basically what I have it set to all the time. A1 is my device. Simple as that. A1 goes to this device. What device do I have selected? My Rig 800. So it goes to Rig 800. If I press a button on my keyboard, it suddenly goes to device 2, which is my speaker on my desk, etc., right? These guys are going to be your outputs. This is actually what is coming out. So if I unmute myself, this is what I'm hearing right here. Oh God, I hate that. So this is what I'm hearing, but you notice there's 2 tracks that I have unmuted. This is A1, this is A2, this is A3, this is A4, A5. These are my inputs, B1, B2, B3. B2 I actually have muted, but these both output through B1, so it doesn't really matter. And all of these output through A1 or A2, because A1 is my headset, A2 is my speaker. And you notice you actually get volume control on not only the outputs, but also like the device itself, but also these virtuals as well. Okay, now going through the different tracks. These 3 are the only 3 that are actually important. These 3 are what we're going to focus on. These are your virtual inputs. It says it right up here. It's pretty cool. You can set different apps to these by going into Windows settings, and then once the app is set, then you can access it through each of these sliders. Now, I'm going to show you then how to access that through just your keyboard, because this thing Voicemeeter Potato comes with its own like shortcuts, macros essentially, like program, so that you can set things to your keyboard to work in Voicemeeter Potato. Before we do that, actually, is that the next thing that we have to do? That might be the next thing we have to do. Oh, yes. Anyways, so you get 3 apps. You get Voicemeeter input, Voicemeeter aux input, and Voicemeeter VAIO3. So, to assign any app to any one of these, what you're going to do is you're going to come down here and say I have Apple Music open, which I do. I have my output device, Voicemeeter aux input. So I go back here. That's this one. Look at that. And if I want to adjust my music, I just adjust the music. The way that I have it set, I have music on one, only music. I have games and anything else on another one. That's this one, right? And then what I have is Discord, Chrome, etc. on this. So any app that is launched without being set beforehand is going to default into my games section, because, I mean, you can see it here. I have a lot of games. I didn't want to go into Windows settings and reset each one to be like VAIO3, right? Instead, these become my default, and all I have to do is set music and Discord and Chrome. And then I'm basically set, unless there's some specific app that I need to change. So what you'll notice is Discord and Chrome. Oh, I lied to you, apparently. Why is this? Oh. That's not right. What the heck? Anyways, I'm lying to you. I don't know why I'm lying to you, but I am. That's wrong. I don't see, there's one Discord here and there's 2 more over here. This one is the correct one. I don't know why it does this. I don't know how programs work, but it works. It does actually function. If I, click this button and lower the volume, it lowers my friends' volume in Discord. It does actually work, okay? So, trust. Believe me, it does work. I just don't know how computers function, Anyways, let's get into how to change things. So, Windows settings. Find the app that you want to change. You do have to have it launched. This is something that Windows does that's weird, but basically, these are not all of the apps on my computer that can make sound, right? I technically do have Spotify. It's installed. It doesn't show up here because it's not launched. So if I wanted to add Spotify to here, I would have to launch Spotify, go into here, and then choose which one I want it to be, right? So, what the heck? This is weird. In theory, I should be seeing all of this every time system settings, that's why. So, if I go here, see, you see a bunch of options, right? There's only 3 in here that you really need to worry about. For output devices, it's either going to be Voicemeeter, VIO3, aux input, or Voicemeeter input. Don't do the tracks. Don't mess with any of that unless you, really want to get into it and do your own thing. There's no need for that. Just go this one, this one, this one. I'm sure you could also break it out by track, if you wanted specific apps to be only on track 2, and then you can switch between the tracks in order to do weird things like that, and then you assign the same headset to multiple tracks. You can do a bunch of weird things with this. This is a super, in-depth program. I'm just showing you my thing, alright? That's it. So, once you're in here, you can adjust whatever app you want to anything you want, and then you're all, set, basically. That's most of the work in Voicemeeter Potato. I would not have these selected. I would mute any outputs that you're not actually using, and then also deselect all the things up here. It'll make it run a little bit better. It's probably negligible to most computers, but save system resources, might as well. Now, here is how we are going to have fun with the actual things. You're going to look for this guy, macro buttons. So if you just search up macro, it should come up. Here are all of the macros that let me do what I want to do. Now, what you will notice, all of the things that I use are function 13 through 24 or control plus those buttons. Except for this. I don't know why I have this, but I do. I never use it. Function buttons are really, really cool, especially function 13 through 24. They work on basically all computers. Most programs know that they exist, but they are buttons that will pass through when you are typing something. So say the example that I always use with myself, if I am trying to set a macro that will always do what I want but never interfere with what I'm doing, you need something that if you are in a Word doc and you hit that button, it will only affect the program that you want it to, and it won't type anything into the doc or the line or into the video game, right? Because you can't have mixed messages multiple programs picking up. The function keys are great for that. They pass through literally everything except for what you want captured with them. So, here's where VIA comes in. I went in and I went to configure. I clicked on my spinny wheel and I actively typed in for each of these what I wanted it to be. So, on my first layer for music, it is counterclockwise is going to be volume, that's down, right? Control, function 17. Or function 17. KCF17 is the stupid QMK codes. If you want help looking these up, honestly, these are kind of what you need to know is KCF17, KCF whatever. These are your function buttons in VIA. Ta-da, you're done. I have given you the things. Look at that. and it works for all of these, right? And that is 4 functions. If you need to do more, like I did a few more over here where I actually used the any key, a bit odd. I wanted to do a whole video on VIO because there's not a whole lot of information out there. I will come back to this at the very end of the video. Stick around if you want me to go through this more, but I'm going to go back and just do macro keys because this is literally all you need to know is KCF17. All right, anyways, once you're back in here, what you're going to do is if you left click, it actually activates the thing. So if I go click and you go back to Voicemeeter Potato, it mutes it, see? And then if I click it again, go back, and it's non-muted, right? So it's a way to test to make sure that the thing that you're doing works. This is actually a relatively simple program to figure out. It looks a little weird, like when you get into it, but basically what you're going to do is you're going to go to any one of these, and when you first launch it, it might be like super small like this. Just expand it. You get as many as you want. What you're going to do is you're going to right-click on one of these, and it opens the menu to change it. So what you're going to do is name it, say blah blah, and then request for button on trigger in is basically all you really need to worry about. That and the keyboard shortcut. So for me, I scroll down and I would find F function 23, 24, etc., or control function 23, 24, etc. This is great, right? They have all of the options for everything. Like you will find it for the function buttons if that's what you are using. Now, what do you type in here? This is the important part, right? So it actually tells you in Voicemeeter. So say I want to mute this. Right up here in the top right here, you're gonna be watching this. You notice it says API strip in brackets 6.mute equals 0. So the API is literally what you need to type in order to access it. So if it's strip 6 mute equals 0, in order to mute or unmute this, you're going to go into here, you're going to right click here, and you're going to go strip in brackets 6 bracket dot mute plus equals 1 end, right? Just like that. And I'm going to double check that this is correct because I'm not sure I actually typed this in right. But if you go, like, if I go into mute games, that is exactly what's here, right? Plus equals 1. Plus equals 1 just adds 1 and then subtracts it, basically. It just means mute, unmute, mute, unmute. That's all it does. So when I want to mute games, I go to strip 5 in this case, because what you'll notice is, look, API strip 0, API strip 1, strip 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Very simple, right? And to mute them, you just dot mute plus equals 1. Now, for these, you are going to need 2 things. You're going to need a keyboard shortcut to raise the volume and to lower it, right? So strip 5, because this is track 5, this is track 6, this is track 7. You can just copy and paste it once you have it typed in once. Dot gain is what you're going to type in. So what you're going to go is, say for Discord Chrome, I'm going to right click on here, label it, pick my keyboard shortcut that I have set to the correct thing. So in this case, if I'm going Discord Chrome volume down, that is M2, which is going to access my second layer, right? Because first, second, yeah, this one. And then what I'm going to do is say, if I want to go volume up, KCF18, right? This is volume down, 16, right? Volume down, F16, F16. And then I'm going to go strip 7 dot gain minus equals 0.5. So that means that every single time that I turn my knob, what you'll notice is on Discord, every time I turn my knob, it goes down by 0.5. And if I spin my knob, then it goes up and down, right? And that's strip 7. And so it does the thing, just like you would imagine. And then for the rest of these, it is exactly the same for all of them, right? You just go into Voicemeeter Potato, you find what you want to change, say the mute button. And you go strip 6.mute equals plus equals 1 into here. And then that changes it. And make sure to end all of them with a semicolon, or else I don't think it'll read correctly. I don't know, weird computer shenanigans. You're telling a computer what to do. And then you're all set. If you need to literally just type this out and then copy paste this and just change the bits, like, it's fine. I don't even think that they're particularly like case sensitive, but once you have one that works, copy and paste them through, adjust it. That's how you do it. Not super hard to do. It can get a little bit complicated, but I believe in you. Last thing. Oh, right. Output swap. This is how I could change from my headset to my speaker right here. So I go A1 to A2, but I do it on 3 separate tracks, right? So what I'm actually doing is API is strip 7.A1 equals 1. So for this, I'm betting what I did was strip 5, 6, 7, each in their own line, dot A1 is plus equals 1, right? And then for this, at the same time that I do this, I also have strip 5, 6, 7, dot A2 plus equals 1. So that, when I do this, see, there are 6 of them in here. 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, dot A2, dot A1, plus equals 1, plus equals 1. It's the same thing, just copied, right? And what this does is, when I go in here, it will turn off these 3 all at once and turn on these 3 all at once. And suddenly, my output is A2 for all of my audio. Voila. And then you're all set. Okay. And then, like, that's kind of like about it. At a certain point, that's kind of all you really need to do. And then you have controllable audio, and that only took me like 20 minutes to explain, and it'll only take you like 30 minutes to do. And then it's pretty cool because instead of going into your like ear trumpet down here and like adjusting audio like app by app, bit by bit, like, no, stay in your game, stay locked in. We have to win, boys. You gotta get me to diamond, please. Lock in. Yeah, and then once you've done that, then you're chilling. I guess I can go through Via now, and then the other thing that I can touch on is OBS. So, Via. They use QMK key codes for whatever reason. Dumbest thing I've ever seen. Anyways, what you can do is basically 2 things. First of all, if you have a fancy keyboard that has Mac and Windows mode, layers 0 and 1 is Mac mode. Layers 2 and 3 are Windows mode. The keyboard doesn't give a shit, alright? You can turn it to Mac mode and then just adjust layer 0 into a Windows setup. I'm on layer 0 right now. I can hit Windows and open Windows. The inputs still go through. But when you're on layer 2 and 3, you can't actually access layers 0 and 1 because you're not on a lower layer. It can only go up layers, not down, for whatever reason. So basically what I'm saying is if you have a fancy keyboard, just go into here, turn it to Mac mode, readjust this, and then basically delete this. Like, this used to look like a regular Windows keyboard, and I adjusted it to just be sleep. Like, this is how I put my computer to sleep, is I hit the function button down here and then sleep. And then you get 4 layers, and 4 layers is cool because it's better than 2. Ta-da. Other thing that you need to know. Macros? No, you don't need to know that. You will figure this out. But basically that's how I adjust. Oh no, this is how I launch apps. Yeah, you don't need to know that. Yeah, but accessing layers is important. So accessing layers 1, 2, 3. You just go into layers. It momentarily turns on layer 1, momentarily turns on layer 2, momentarily turns on layer 3, etc., etc., etc. I don't know why there are 9 layers, but there you go. When you're in layer 0, this is what you're accessing. When you're in layer 1, this is what I'm accessing. When I'm in layer 2, this is what I'm accessing, right? So the only things that are really important to me are these guys here, and like what's on my knob. So there you go. Like, Relatively simple. Now, one thing I did use, because there are only 12 function keys between, 12 and 24, like 13 through 24, that aren't already like used by your computer and other programs. One thing you can do is go into special and use the any key to set the key to anything. So if I go here and I go any, I have to type in the QMK key code. But one thing I can do is say left control and then in parentheses KC underscore F14. What this will do is left control function 14. All right, so that's important for macros because I can go in here and suddenly, instead of just having 12, I suddenly have 24, right? I can do control function 18, right? Like all of these suddenly become an option for me to use and it doesn't limit me to 12. It's very nice. Not super useful for you necessarily, but there you go. Left control is kind of all you need to know, and then I have 14. I've unlocked more, and if you do left alt, you can Google what left alt is in QMK key code right here, or hex code. But VIA is weird. I don't know why they do that. There you go. Yeah, that's basically it for VIA. I have these set for adjusting my keyboard and OBS. OBS is important. Yeah, you just go boop, settings, and you go hotkeys. See, control F15. I use it for this a lot. So I can start and stop replay buffer, start and stop recording, mute myself, save the replay, all without alt tabbing. Beautiful. Do this. Even if you don't use like all the fancy other things that I do this. Okay, it's nice. You don't have to like mess around with things. It's great. Right, I was forgetting something about Voicemeeter. What is it? Oh, setting savings. This is actually really important. If you want to not have to like do everything over and over and over again every single time that you close Voicemeeter, a few things you need. Very important. I'm sorry if you closed the video before this. A bit of a load settings on startup. Very important. But basically, system tray, click that. Run Windows startup, click that. Run macro buttons on Voicemeeter start, click that. This one, self-explanatory. It runs macro buttons on Voicemeeter start. So when Voicemeeter launches, this will launch, and then your macros will actually function. Important stuff. Run on Windows startup. When your computer starts, Voicemeeter Potato will launch. System tray, it just launches in the background. You don't have to minimize it. It just does it for you. It's already there. All set. Now, load settings on startup. So what you're going to do is you're going to go save settings. You're going to save the settings as a file. And then, once it is saved as a file, what you're going to do is you're going to go click on load settings on startup. You're going to click this. It's going to open the same dialog box. You're going to double click on the same settings. So, save settings. Banana. What is it? XML. There we go. Banana. Good. Menu. Load settings. I turned it off. Turn it back on. It opens this. You go to banana. You double click on that. Right? Very simple. There. Done. And all of my settings are the same as they were. Right? And it will launch the same. It will do the same stuff. Don't mess with it after you've done that. Okay? Just get everything set. Do that stuff. There's also a whole lot more like hiding in here. You don't need to mess with most of it. Every once in a while you might need to like restart the audio engine. Like that's pretty rare, but like I don't know, if you get crackles or something, you can just force close it. Yeah, but also system tray means that if you hit the X, see, it says it describes it right here. It's really cool. If system tray option is enabled, the application is still running and present in system tray. So if I hit X, you can still hear me. If I hit X, you notice it's still running down here. Here's the macro buttons. Here's Voicemeeter Potato. They're still running. They're just hidden. And I don't need to deal with them every time I like alt tab, all right? So, there you go. You've listened to me for 35 minutes. If you've gotten this far in the video, you're dedicated. You might as well fucking subscribe. I don't know, have a wonderful day or something. Like, I hope this works. Leave comments if these things don't work and why. I spent something like 40 hours doing this, and I'm spending 40 minutes explaining to you how to not spend 40 hours doing this. Cool. Do this. Lock in. Have fun. Bye. Where's my stop recording button? Is it this one? Let's find out. It is not. Is it this one? It is not. Is it this one? It is not. Is it? It's not that. Oh, what the heck? Okay, bye.